In a single lifetime, Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire expanded at an astonishing rate. They conquered more land and people than the Romans did in centuries, leaving an indelible mark on the course of history. Their conquests reshaped the geopolitical landscape of Asia and beyond. But centuries before him, Attila the Hun's name struck terror across Europe, instilling fear in the hearts of emperors and commoners alike. His campaigns were characterized by brutal efficiency and widespread devastation. These two men, separated by nearly 800 years, stand as towering figures in military history. They were not kings by birth, inheriting power through lineage, but warriors forged in the harsh world of the steppe, where survival depended on strength, cunning, and unwavering resolve. Their names became synonymous with conquest, forever etched in the annals of warfare. They brought the thunder of hooves and the redrawing of the world map, carving out new empires and reshaping existing borders. Both were outsiders, leading people labeled as barbarians by the civilizations they threatened, challenging the established order and striking fear into the hearts of the so-called civilized world. Imagine history as a playground. Attila arrives to smash the Roman sandcastle, leaving behind a trail of destruction and chaos. While Genghis Khan later rebuilds the playground itself, connecting every corner through trade, diplomacy, and a unified legal system. Both mastered the horse and bow, becoming symbols of equestrian warfare. They were masters of logistics and strategy, leading armies that terrified the world's greatest empires with their speed, discipline, and ruthlessness, and forced them to pay tribute, amassing vast wealth and resources from conquered lands. Yet their goals and legacies were profoundly different. One focused on immediate gains, the other on long-term impact. One a fleeting storm, leaving behind ruins and devastation, the other a world builder, laying the foundations for a new era of interconnectedness. This isn't just a contest of power, a simple comparison of military might, but a journey into what it means to lead, to build enduring structures and to destroy existing ones. The hoofbeats of their armies have faded into the distant past, the echoes of their conquests growing fainter with each passing year. But their echoes still shape our world, influencing political boundaries, cultural exchanges, and the very fabric of modern society. Attila emerged from the Eurasian steppe, a land as harsh as the warriors it bred. It was a world of constant motion and survival on horseback, where strength and skill determined your fate. The Huns were masters of this world. The Huns were nomads, their lives dictated by the seasons and the needs of their herds. Their wealth was measured in horses, the lifeblood of their society, and their homes were portable yurts, easily moved across the vast plains. These yurts provided shelter and a sense of continuity as they traversed the landscape. Attila and his brother Bleda inherited a fractured confederation, a collection of tribes often at odds with one another. But Attila's ruthless will and strategic brilliance soon made him the sole ruler, eliminating any rivals in his path. The Roman Empire was divided and weakened, its resources stretched thin and its leadership in disarray. Attila saw opportunity in this decline, not tragedy. He recognized the vulnerability and prepared to exploit it. To the Romans, he was the Scourge of God, a divine punishment sent to test their faith and resolve. He was perceived as a force of nature, an unstoppable storm sweeping across the land. He united the Huns under his banner and subjugated other tribes, forging a fearsome war machine. He ruled from a mobile camp, not a palace, always at the heart of his army, ready to strike. Attila's power was personal. It wasn't derived from titles or bureaucracy. He led by fear and respect, earning the loyalty of his warriors by sharing the hardships of their brutal existence. He didn't want to govern vast territories or build lasting monuments, only to plunder and extract wealth. His strategy was brutally simple: invade, demand tribute, and utterly destroy any settlement that refused to yield to his demands. He built no cities, codified no laws, leaving behind no infrastructure or lasting institutions, and his empire, built on conquest and fear, died with him, fracturing into disparate tribes once more. Attila was a whirlwind of destruction, leaving a trail of devastation and terror in his wake. His legacy is tied entirely to his own fearsome reputation as a brutal and unstoppable conqueror. He was the ultimate predator, a master of war and intimidation, circling the weakened Roman herd, waiting for the opportune moment to strike and claim his prize. When he died, unexpectedly and perhaps ignominiously, his empire vanished almost overnight, proving that his power was entirely dependent on his personal charisma and military prowess. Nearly 8 centuries after Attila's reign of terror, a new force emerged from the east, poised to reshape the world. Temujin, later known to the world as Genghis Khan, rose from the depths of hardship and betrayal, a crucible that forged his indomitable spirit. His story began on the vast, unforgiving Mongolian steppe, a land of sweeping horizons and brutal realities. Orphaned and abandoned at a young age, left to fend for himself in a world of constant struggle, he survived by forging crucial alliances, navigating the treacherous landscape of tribal politics. He possessed a keen understanding of both cruelty and loyalty, recognizing their power in shaping destinies. The steppe was a fragmented patchwork of warring tribes, each vying for dominance and resources, locked in an endless cycle of conflict. But Temujin, with his strategic mind and unwavering resolve, saw beyond the chaos, envisioning the possibility of unity, a single powerful nation. He built a dedicated following based on merit and unwavering loyalty, attracting warriors who believed in his vision. This was not based on birthright or lineage, but on skill and dedication. A truly revolutionary idea that challenged the established order. At a momentous great Kurultai, a gathering of all the tribes, he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, the universal ruler, uniting the disparate tribes under a single banner, forging them into the mighty Mongols. He established the Yasa, a comprehensive legal code that brought much-needed order and iron discipline to the newly unified nation. Genghis Khan's grand vision extended far beyond mere plunder and conquest. He sought to fundamentally build a new world order, one based on stability and prosperity. He actively promoted trade along the Silk Road, created an efficient postal system for rapid communication across vast distances, and remarkably he tolerated all religions within his expanding empire, fostering a climate of relative peace. He was, in essence, both a destroyer of old orders and a builder of new societies, forging a powerful and enduring nation from the ashes of chaos and tribal warfare. His ambition extended far beyond simply conquering new lands and amassing wealth. His ultimate goal was to ensure that the brutal chaos he had personally endured would never again plague his people. He sought to transform the Mongolian steppe from a landscape of endless conflict and bloodshed into a unified, disciplined and unstoppable force that would reshape the course of history. Genghis Khan's early suffering and the hardships he faced in his formative years ultimately fueled his unwavering drive to create a lasting order and build an empire that would endure for generations to come. Attila ruled through fear and charisma, commanding absolute loyalty. His authority was immediate, his word was law, his presence the center of Hunnic life. He led from the front, sharing dangers and victories with his men. Attila's achievements were military devastating campaigns against the Roman Empire, sacking cities and forcing emperors to pay tribute. His strategy was simple: use terror to extract wealth, perfecting the art of the protection racket. The Battle of the Catalonian Plains showed his reach, even if it ended in stalemate. His empire was a reflection of his will, united only by his personal power. When Attila died, his empire collapsed instantly. No institutions, no legacy beyond destruction. He was a master of terror, not a builder of nations. Genghis Khan's leadership was revolutionary, built on meritocracy and absolute loyalty. He promoted generals for skill, not birth, creating a disciplined, motivated officer corps. His greatest achievement was uniting the Mongol tribes into a single nation. The Yasa legal code established order and justice, transforming nomads into a state. With unity, he launched conquests that toppled entire civilizations. He absorbed new technologies and expertise, expanding his empire with strategy and innovation. Unlike Attila, Genghis planned for succession, dividing his empire among his sons and building lasting institutions. The Yam postal system connected his vast territories, enabling trade and communication. He championed the Silk Road, making it safer than ever. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror, but a visionary who laid the foundation for the largest land empire in history. His system outlived him, fostering exchange between East and West for generations. Attila's Huns were a storm of light cavalry, masters of the composite bow and the feigned retreat. Their tactics, hit, feigned flight, then ambush, turned enemy discipline into disaster. Attila relied on speed, surprise and terror, rarely besieging cities, preferring to devastate the countryside. His military machine was designed for raiding, not occupation. Genghis Khan elevated steppe warfare, organizing his army by tens, hundreds and thousands for precise control. He drilled his soldiers relentlessly, perfecting complex maneuvers and coordinated feigned retreats. Genghis adopted new technologies, especially siege warfare, conscripting engineers to take fortified cities. His campaigns were meticulously planned, using intelligence, multi-pronged attacks and propaganda. The Mongol army was a learning, adapting force, combining nomadic mobility with the skills of conquered peoples. Genghis Khan's military was an evolving organism, far surpassing Attila's in sophistication. The core difference: Attila was a warlord, Genghis Khan an empire builder. Attila's empire existed to plunder, held together by his charisma and the promise of loot. He built no cities, no laws, no administration. His empire collapsed with his death. His legacy was destruction, hastening Rome's fall, but leaving only a power vacuum. Genghis Khan, in contrast, sought to create a unified political entity. He established universal law, a postal system and administration. His empire was built to last. He used the talents of conquered peoples, promoted religious tolerance and fostered trade. When Genghis died, his empire endured, expanding under his sons and grandsons. He built institutions, not just a personal following. Attila was a storm, Genghis Khan a world builder. Their legacies reflect these fundamental differences. Attila's legacy is one of fear and myth. Europe's ultimate barbarian, blamed for Rome's collapse. His invasions displaced populations, clearing the way for new kingdoms, but he built nothing lasting in Hungary. He's remembered as a strong ancestor, not a destroyer. History's view depends on perspective. His true legacy is the myth he created, still resonant today. Genghis Khan's legacy is more complex, a brutal conqueror, but also a creator of the Pax Mongolica. The Mongol Empire made the Silk Road safe, enabling trade and cultural exchange that shaped the world. Technologies and ideas flowed from east to west, fueling the Renaissance. Genghis Khan was both destroyer and connector, tearing the world apart and stitching it together anew. Their legacies are paradoxes, one of mythic terror, the other of both devastation and global connection. We've seen Attila, the Scourge of God, a force of destruction offering glory and terror, but no future beyond his own life. Genghis Khan, the universal ruler, offered his followers a place in a new world order, a nation and a lasting legacy. The choice is between two philosophies: the thrill of destruction or the satisfaction of building something enduring. One burns bright and fast, leaving myth and ashes. The other reshapes the world, leaving a complex legacy. As the dust settles, two banners rise: the Hunnic storm promising gold and glory, the Mongol nation promising a place in history. Both bent history to their will but walked different paths. Whose banner would you choose to follow? The answer reveals as much about us as about these two giants of the past.